countries that you'd really love to go and teach in that you haven't been to yet?
Sweden? Never been to Sweden.
Okay.
Portugal. Oh, in South America, because I know some hoopers in Brazil, and I would love to. I've been to Central America. I've never been to South America, but I would really love to teach down there. And it's always teaching and traveling is one of the best ways to travel, because you're generally staying with somebody from the hoop community, probably somebody you've never met before. And then you kind of get the locals insider view of a location, and they show you, you know, their favorite spots, and it's amazing, and it's really cool that way.
And in terms of things that you have in kind of terms of goals with hooping in the future, do you have anything on your kind of bucket list of things you'd like to achieve, whether it be performing at certain places, teaching certain places, traveling? Is there anything that you're like, before I finish hooping one day, I'd love to accomplish these things?
Maybe splitting 6 or 7 hoops on body, even, but I haven't even remotely started dedicating the amount of time that it takes. I'm at 5 currently, but I've been at 5 for like the last couple of years. At some point, maybe in a few years, I'll, you know, start working on that. You know, I try not to, as somebody who's been hooping for almost 2 decades, I try not to beat myself up about, you know, there's months at a time I don't pick my hula hoop up, and then I will be hooping for 4 hours a day for months on end sometimes, and then I go another couple months without touching my hula hoop. And if you beat yourself up about like, oh well, like maybe somebody hasn't hula hooped in a couple of years, and then they're like, oh, am I even a hula hooper anymore? And I was like, I don't know, are you? Like, do you like hula hooping? You know, that's I just wanna keep hooping. That's
Right.
That's my goal, is to, I feel like there's never, well, not anymore anyways, like a lack of inspiration. There's just so many minds doing so many crazy things. I do find it sometimes overwhelming when, you know, like, oh, Caterina Sutton, who was working on like 6 hoops on her arms, right? She was like, got 2 in each hand and 1 in her arm, and she's doing like crazy things like this. I'm just like, you know, I'm like, I can't even do all that stuff with 2 hoops. And then there's like Gail's like, you know, balancing and face balancing while doing all these other things, and there's just so much. I find it quite overwhelming, so, which is another reason why I'm not on Instagram too much, because I'm like, oh god, I can't even handle all this, being overwhelmed. So, and I also like I like being inspired by people and learning some new things, but I also like having sort of more like my own authentic style and coming up with my own things, and I don't like to be too influenced by people, especially if I'm going to put, you know, content out, or let's say teaching something. I don't really want to teach something that somebody else is teaching. I want to come up with my own stuff from my own brain, which is not hard for me to do. Pretty much every single time I pick up my hula hoop, I discover something new, and then it's quite rusty because I just invented it, which means I then have to spend like another year polishing it. So I'm like this constant cycle of inventing and polishing, and so it's never ending. I have never ending things to work on, for sure.
And what kind of things do you like to do outside of hooping?
Outside things, I would say. I live in the Canadian Rockies, which have been featured in some of my tutorials, and it's absolutely beautiful and soul filling. Every time I walk out my door, it's just like mountains. And so I like to do all the mountain things, rock climbing and hiking, mountain biking, skiing. I like cross-country skiing, which is pretty dorky. I'm quite a dork, for those who haven't met me in real life. Super dork. I'm a bird watcher. Yes. I was bird watching before it was cool. I don't know if it's cool yet. I feel like coronavirus, people are talking about like, oh, people have started bird watching. I'm like, it's pretty cool, eh?
Can
Birds.
you do the bird calls as well, or have you ever tried that?
Some of them.
Oh, can you give us any bird calls?
Ooh, I mean,
don't tell us what it is first, because then the viewers can take a guess if they're an amateur bird call sleuth. Ooh, is this a Canadian bird specifically, or is this one that we
Northern Hemisphere?
Oh, okay.
Corvus corax would be the Latin name.
Ooh.
A very raven.
Okay, nice. I thought theirs would be harsher than that. Have you got any others?
I mean, not that it's like a bird call, but peacocks, which are not native to Canada, but they are so loud that if you're ever in like a park that has peacocks and it's like, I don't know who's home in the next building, that this is gonna be loud.
I've heard a peacock and that's spot on.
Peacock sounds like.
Love it. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And have you ever like been hooping at the top of the Rockies and lost hoops down the mountain? Is that like a thing that's happened? Because I'm always terrified of doing like chest rolls and things when I'm near the edge of anything. Have you had any hoop losses?
No, I never had hoops go into the water. There's a tutorial for like a linear isolation on the top of a mountain, and my friend Sean, who filmed the video for me, who's a mountain guide, he's like, oh, I know a great mountain that you could do a tutorial on. The summit's like super flat, it's gonna be great. So we go climb up this mountain, and I'm like, this is what you call a flat summit. And there was a spot like this big around that was flat, and then it was just like drops on either side, like down cliffs. And I was like, this will be a do not let go of your hoop. So in like the flow section of that video, you'll notice that I am not letting go of the hoop at any time. I have a full grip on the hoop at all times because I'm quite flaily. I drop my hoop all the time. So it was just going to be a goner. Yeah.
And in terms of like guests who you'd like to hear from, is there anyone in particular who you would love to hear their hoop story? Either someone who you know and think they have a really interesting story or they're really funny, or someone who you would like to discover more about them?
I'm a sucker for the old school hula hoopers, and actually Emma McKenna is quite an old school hula hooper, but she maintains quite a hoop presence, I would say. And
people can watch. We've had Emma on the show. She's the longest interview. Unsurprising if anyone's met Emma. Emma and I are both known for being able to talk. The longest
interview did she?
2 hours. You can watch it in 2 sections. It's on the Hoop Circle. So if anyone would like to hear from Emma, we've got her playing ukulele, talking German. It's an epic interview.
Wildly entertaining.
So that's definitely one to check out when you've got time.
That's a good question. Maybe Sharna. Again, old school and like the creativity there.
Definitely.
It's great.
Yeah, I'd love to have Sharna on the show. Hopefully we'll get her on some point.
All the UK crew,
Yeah, definitely. And the original UK hoopers who brought it over here from America, and where it was already more of a thing, because we have more history of circus hoop here for a lot longer, obviously, and then not really hoop dance. Say Sharna was one of the first people to really bring it over here. So yeah, that would be great to hear her hoop story as well. And yeah, thank you so much for being a guest. It's been great to hear about your hoop journey, and we look forward to seeing you teaching online, and hopefully at some point in the future when we can all leave the house again, people can learn from you in the countries they are in around the world, hopefully Iceland and places in South America and all sorts of exciting places. And
yes, feel free to invite me to your city and country, and I will come and teach you looping because I love it.
definitely get in touch. And yeah, take care. We look forward to seeing you in the future.